Today we are cooking peanut butter cupcakes. This is a mug recipe, so it's one that you put together in a mug and then cook it in the microwave, so it's super easy. So my recipe is from Stars on the Spectrum, and that is the recipe we're going to use today. So the ingredients are oil, flour, baking powder, eggs, sugar, peanut butter, and milk. And so I have all of my ingredients out, and I also have all of my tools out. I have a spoon, measuring spoons, a mug, and I think that's it. I think those are all of my tools that I will need today. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about mugs to use during these mug recipes. So I have two mugs, and I always like using a mug that is kind of bigger than your typical coffee mug, because I've had too many instances where my cake or whatever I'm making in my mug has flown over in the microwave. So I'm checking also on the bottom of my mug, so I have two big ones here, and I want to make sure that they are microwave safe. So I have this one mug here, and on the bottom it says not microwave safe. So I cannot use this one in my microwave. So I'm going to set it over here because I'm not able to use it. However, this mug, though it is definitely out of season right now, this one says on the bottom that it is dishwasher and microwave safe. So I'm going to use this one today to do all of my baking. Now, before we get started, I need to wash my hands. So the first thing you do before you do any baking. So I'm going to come over here to my sink, turn on the water, soap, wash my hands. Alright, so it says my first step is to put 4 tablespoons of flour in my mug. So here's my mug. Here's my flour is in this canister right here, and I need 4 tablespoons. So tablespoons comes on one of your measuring spoon set, and a lot of times they'll come like this on a ring and have all the different sizes. Now I need a tablespoon. A tablespoon is your biggest one. Tablespoon, the little initials of a tablespoon would be TBS, not TPS, TB, B as in boy. So that's 1 tablespoon. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my flour here and get 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we go, 4 tablespoons. Okay. Next it says 4 tablespoons of sugar. Now my sugar is also in a canister, and it looks very similar to my flour one. But I know the difference because flour and sugar, though they are both white, they are different. So sugar, if you look really closely, sugar is very kind of sparkly actually. So if it has little sparkles in it, that one is sugar. Okay. So here's my sugar, and again it's 4 tablespoons. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my large, the biggest one, 1 tablespoon to count to 4. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, next the directions say add 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. So 1/4 teaspoon. So teaspoon, that is the TSP, teaspoon. So mine are really hard to read, but it says TSP, and then it says 1/4. So 1/4, that is a 1/4. And it is a lot smaller. So tablespoon is like this, how big that one is, and the little 1/4 teaspoon is this small. okay? 1/4 of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. All right. Next, it says add 3 tablespoons of peanut butter. So here's my peanut butter. And use that big tablespoon again, biggest one, and go ahead and dip that in there. Scoop up some peanut butter. And how many? It says 3 of them. So I'm gonna go ahead. Now peanut butter is very, very sticky. So I'm gonna use my spoon that I got out to stir everything later and help scrape it out of my tablespoon. Okay. All right, so there is 1. 2. And 3. Okay, so now the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of milk. So I have my milk here. Go ahead and use my tablespoon again. Very carefully pour. There's 1, 2, 3. Okay. Add 1 egg. So my egg is over here. There you go. 1 egg. Crack it in. There you go. No shells in the recipe. All right, and last, add 3 tablespoons of oil. So I am using vegetable oil and 3 tablespoons. So again, pouring very carefully. 1, 2, and 3. All right, and the very last step is to stir and microwave for 1.5 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and stir it up. You're gonna make sure you stir it well enough that there's no more lumps in it. Stir it really, really well. Okay, so everything is all mixed up. It smells so much like peanut butter. I hope your guys' looks like this too. It looks delicious. All right, so put it in my microwave. And then put it right in the middle of the plate for a minute and a half. So on mine, that will look like 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I push start. All right, let's give it a look. Okay, I'm gonna take it out and see if it's done. It looks completely cooked, so I'm gonna let it sit here and I'm gonna let it cool for a few minutes because it is way too hot to eat. So while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and finish putting away some of my ingredients I use and go ahead and take care of the dishes. Okay, so my peanut butter cupcake has been sitting here and cooling for a few minutes now, so I'm gonna go ahead and taste it. Go ahead and use my spoon, get a little piece. It is delicious. I think you're really gonna like this, so why don't you guys go ahead and try out the recipe for yourself.